Hi everyone, it's great to connect with you again in this way, and I hope you've been enjoying the sunshine this week. And so we've been looking at the character of a Christian, what a Christian person should be like, and we've been looking at Jesus to find out what he was like. And so we've looked at faithfulness last week, and this week we're going to be exploring gentleness. Now, gentleness is probably a word that you don't really hear much, actually. Well, I don't think. Maybe if you go to a farm and you hold a little chick in your hands and the person will say, be gentle, and you gently nestle it in your hands. Or if you've got a hamster or a gerbil, maybe you have to be gentle when you're handling them. Or a new baby, when you're holding a new baby, you need to be gentle. And maybe the grown-up in the house would say, be kind to your brother or sister, or be a good person and be kind. But you don't necessarily hear them saying, be gentle to your brother and sister. It's not something that we say to people. And so what is gentleness all about? I was thinking about this week, and I think gentleness is very much like kindness, but gentleness is a little bit more, and it's something that doesn't come naturally to us. It's not something that we can think of. So you can be kind, but gentleness is something you've got to practice. And because gentleness is something that is mixed with kindness, it's mixed with compassion, it's being thoughtful, it's just all those things mixed into one, I think. And so sometimes maybe if someone's been not so nice to you or being horrible, you'd quite like to shout back at them. But if you're gentle, you would say, do you know, you're not treating me very nice. And what you just said hurt me. So you're still saying how you feel and what you want to say, but you're being gentle about it. You're not shouting at them and telling them to go away or going in a mood, or you're being a gentle person. Or if you're getting cross with someone, you can say, do you know, I really need to calm down because I'm getting angry. And that's being gentle towards that person. Or when we get excited and we want our own way, it's like trying to consider other people at the same time. And so gentleness is really something that we have to practice at very hard. And it's in every emotion, it's being in everything that we do. How are we going to be gentle to this person? How am I going to be gentle in this situation? So to help us explore that, I thought we'd look at a story that was told in the Bible about Jesus. And Jesus was in the temple courts, and lots of people had gathered around as what usually happened when he was talking and he was teaching to them. And while he was there, a group of people came, and I can imagine they would be quite loud and there would be a big crowd following them. And it was teachers and the Pharisees had brought a woman to Jesus, and they literally threw her down at Jesus' feet. And one of the Pharisees, now let me pause the story there. A Pharisee, they were a group of people that studied the Jewish law and wanted to have a new Israel and go back to the old ways. But also they followed the law, the Jewish law, very strictly. And because of that, they expected everybody else to, and they wanted everybody else to. And so sometimes they were quite forceful. And so they had found this lady and they were bringing them to Jesus because they were trying to catch Jesus out. And so the teachers and the Pharisees brought this woman to Jesus. and they said, Jesus, this woman has been caught doing something wrong. This woman has been caught committing adultery. What are you going to do about it? Because in the law of Moses, if someone had been caught doing an adultery, they were to be stoned to death. Now, stoned to death really is what it says. People would pick up stones and throw them at the person until they died, which is a horrible thought. But in those days, that's what the law said. In our day, we don't think that's right. And so people go to prison for doing something wrong. But you've got to remember that this was a long, long time ago. And that was the law way back then. So you can imagine how the lady felt. And so why did the Pharisees say that to Jesus? Well, they were trying to catch him out. They were trying to find something that they could pin on him so that they could accuse him of something that he was doing wrong or said something wrong. And so they came to Jesus with the woman and they said they committed adultery. We should stone her. What do you think? Do you know what Jesus did? He knelt down in the sand and he started to write something in the sand. Now, lots of people have talked about what he actually wrote in the sand, and no one really knows. Some people say that he was following law and he wrote what she had done down. Some people say he was just doodling. But even, no matter what he wrote down, he stopped and he was, I think, calming the situation down because he wasn't looking at them and he was writing in the sand. And they were asking him more and more questions and saying, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? And then Jesus stopped writing in the sand and he stood up. And he said, any one of you without sin, throw the first stone. So you can imagine this crowd had stones. Everyone had a stone in their hand. And he's telling them, any of you, if you haven't done anything bad at all in your life, nothing at all, you can throw the stone. Now, I don't know about you, but I asked Jesus to forgive me quite a lot because I'm sure I think bad things and sometimes I lose my temper, sometimes I'm not thoughtful, sometimes I'm not kind, which isn't good. That's actually a bad thing. And so you can imagine all these people standing in the crowd with their stones ready to throw, and one by one they dropped a stone and they walked away. And they walked away until the oldest one was left and they walked away. They all left. They all left. And then Jesus turned to the woman and said, where are the people who accuse you? Where are the people that are saying that you've done something wrong and that you should die? And she looked round and she said, they're all gone. There's no one here. And Jesus said, I don't accuse you either. I don't want to kill you. I don't think you should die either. So go and don't do those things anymore. Don't be bad. Change. And so she left. So, can you see how gentle Jesus was in that situation? He was gentle to the teachers and the Pharisees, who I think were really angry and shouting, when he stopped and he paused and he wrote down and he took his time and he then spoke very, very clearly. And then he paused and he was gentle with the woman as well, how he spoke to her. He didn't judge her. He didn't tell her off. He didn't shout at her. He was gentle. And so Jesus shows us so many examples of how to be gentle. And actually this week, as I've been thinking about gentleness, I want to practice it more and more and more, to become more gentle, to help people also be gentle. Because gentle isn't a sign of being weak. So if you're fighting or having an argument, to say, you're really hurting me and I don't really like that, that's not being weak. Gentleness is a sign of strength. But gentleness would be fantastic if we were all gentle to each other. So there's lots of activities this week, and I hope you enjoy and enjoy exploring about what it means to be gentle. And try and practice it this week and see how you get on. So bye for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.